Alright. Welcome to the video, guys. Are you good? I'm doing a TED Talk about social anxiety. So the thing is, a lot of people, you're good. A lot of people have social anxiety in their life. Sometimes like you're dealing with large groups of people. Sometimes you're going places, there's large crowds of people. The thing is, you just have to stop caring. You're good. Sometimes, people will come and go, but at the end of the day, if you just stop caring, then that's all that really matters. It's kind of like an elevator, like social anxiety, when you think of it, is pretty much like an elevator. You're mixed in, there's a lot of people, and everyone's doing their own thing. And that's really the thing about social anxiety. Like, sometimes people go about their life, and thank you, bro, appreciate you. People go about their life, and you're good. And everyone's living in their own world. No one really cares about anything. Everyone's kind of going about their day. Some people could be going through a breakup. Some people could be going through a divorce. Some people could be going through something else you don't know about. And everyone's just focused on their own world. So really, at the end of the day, social anxiety literally shouldn't affect you. And if you're dealing with like social anxiety or anything like scary like that, then just know that there's probably 1,000 other people in the same situation as you. So really don't stress about it too much. Obviously there should be a little bit of fear in your life, I guess, because if you're scared of nothing, then you're literally Iron Man or something like that. But you need to have some level of stress in your life. Actually, that's probably better for you. If you have nothing stressful in your life, if you have nothing that you're scared of, then you're probably gonna end up in a lot of really bad situations. And when you think about it, it's like, oh, you're good. When you think about it, it's like, it's kind of all an illusion. Like, people get scared of one thing, and people get like worried about other things that they shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? And there's actually this really good example with like brain rot, if you've seen it recently. There's this Italian brain rot thing called tralala going around, and it's a good analogy for social anxiety, because the people making those things literally don't care about anything. The people making those brain rot things literally have no fear. They're the most stupid things you can imagine. There's one with Berber Patapim. There's one with Cappuccino Ballerino. There's one with Tralalelo, Tralala, Bombardino, Crocodilo. And they're so stupid that you literally shouldn't worry about them at all. And I would also like to add on another note, if you're worried about people in your friend group judging you, then there's two levels of fear you should have. Number one, if they're your actual friends, then they're gonna judge you with good reason. They're gonna be like, okay, this is what you're doing wrong in your life. You need to change this. You're going through this relationship and she's not good for you. So maybe you should change your life a little bit. But there's the other ones where they literally judge you for no reason at all. They will judge you and they'll tell you that that you're doing things wrong when you're not actually doing them wrong. So at the end of the day, people really shouldn't care. We're doing a TED Talk about social anxiety. So basically, going back to the elevator analogy, sometimes you might have fear in your life about people. Sometimes people might come and go, people in elevators, they come in and they come out. But at the end of the day, you really shouldn't care, but you're the main character in your own life, and everyone's too stressed and too worried to go about going along on their own day that you really shouldn't care about anything else. And that's the first part about this. Second part is social anxiety really scares people, like when doing everyday tasks. Some people are too scared to go out in the open. Some people are too scared to like go out and hang out. And that's such a bad mentality to go about in your life, because how can you be scared about going somewhere like at the beach or somewhere at the park or something with the fear of people constantly judging you, you know? It goes back to the limelight effect. The limelight effect is basically everyone's too focused on their own world and their own environment to be focused on yours, you know? Everyone's constantly in their own world and in their own problems. So why would they give their attention to you, if that makes sense? You know? Why would they give their energy to you? I guess a good example about this is, let's just say you are going to prom, right? You're going to dance, and at the dance, oh, my tie looks kind of weird. Okay, there we go. A little better. Dude, side note, it is so hot in here. What's up, dude?
What's up?
All right, we got our main guest right here. I was actually just giving an example with brain rot, like Italian brain rot.
Yeah.
People making those brain rots like don't care about anything in their life, you know. Like
that's true.
It's crazy how like they're making stupid things like tralalelo, tralala, ballerina, cappuccino, tung tung sahur.
Yeah.
Like who cares about that, you know? And those people making the brain rot, it like they don't care about it. So why should we care about stuff in our day-to-day life? You know, why should we care about like going to the mall and thinking about how we're dressed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dude, look at this tie. This is absolutely chopped, but do I care? No, I do not care. So,
We forgot.
Oh, forgot to press the button.
Yeah. But why should we care?
Why should we care? Yeah, why should we care? There's like way too many things going on in life. You know, we got, what do we have? We have a war going, we have like 10 wars.
Finals today?
Finals.
Stanley Cup?
Yeah, Stanley Cup. I have finals. Wars. There's probably someone getting slaughtered on the other side of the world. So why should we care? You know, I'll see you in 10 minutes. So why should we care? Because at the end of the day, we're all living a life that is short, and we're only here for what, like 80 years? Some of us are even here for like 10 years or 20 years. So imagine, that's actually really good, like transition point. Imagine if someone came to you and told you that you had 10 years left to live, or better yet, 10 weeks left to live. How different would your life be? If someone came up to you and said that you had 10 weeks, or are you good, 10 weeks or 10 years left to live, you would probably change your life and you would probably live your life completely differently. For example, if someone came up to me and said I had 2 days left to live, right? Dude, I would do things so much differently. I would honestly not care what anyone would say about me. I would just live my life and do my own thing. So why should you care about the way that other people are living? You know, some people might only have like a couple months left to live. Let them live their life. Stop judging them and let them do their thing. But going back to limelight effect, sorry, that was a whole big parenthesis, but basically, people are too focused on themselves to focus on yourself. So when you're out in public, you're at downtown Disney, or you're at a theme park, something like that, everyone there is so focused on their own world and their own bubble, and they're so focused on their own environment. They're too focused. They're too like, what's the word? For them, they're too focused on themselves that they literally don't care about anything else. So basically, if I'm going out in public at a, let's just say, if I'm going shopping, right, at a mall, I'm probably worried about the way I dress. I'm probably worried about the way I walk, the way I talk. But at the end of the day, the person next to me, they're worried about the same things. I'm worried about if I'm walking too fast, if I'm slouched down, if my cologne's smelling right, if my hair is done right, which honestly, kind of clapped right now, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm worried about all those little things, and the person to my left and to my right, they're worried about the exact same thing. So everyone's worried. Everyone's like worried about things here and there. And do you really care about all that? I'm too busy to worry about myself, and I'm too busy worrying about myself than to worry about the person walking down right next to me who's probably worrying about 100 different things. So at the end of the day, we're all strangers in each other's world, you know? We're all strangers, and oh, you're good. You're good, bro. We're all strangers in each other's world, and people come and go for like 30 seconds in your life, right? People come in your life, you say what's up to them, you're cool with them, and then you'll probably never see them again. So why even care about those little things? If people are mean to you, just stop caring about them. If people are nice to you, obviously like respect them and like, say what's up to them and stuff. But other than that, who cares? Like, we're only here, thank you, bro. We're only here for a short amount of time, so none of this really matters at the end of the day. Oh, by the way, I should probably say this at this point, since we're probably a third of the way through. If you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and you can always change your mind anytime because this is crazy. Honestly, I don't know what I'm rambling about, but I hope that some of this makes sense. So what I would say is that if you're stressed, let me give you an example. I'm talking to you, the viewer, right? If you're stressed in life, if you're constantly worried about what people say, what people think of you, how people judge you, honestly, bro, toss that out of the window. Screw that, dude. Because some people will say things out of jealousy, some people will say things out of spite, and if someone is giving you constructive criticism, constructive feedback, then that is something that you should probably take and you should probably consider. But there's a lot of people that are giving you feedback or criticism, honestly, out of pure jealousy too. Because some people are jealous of the way you live, some people are jealous, maybe not of the money you have, maybe not of the relationships you have, maybe something else. Some people are just jealous of how nice you are as a person, how welcoming. Even if everything's going good for you in life, people will always be jealous and people will always judge you no matter what. So at the end of the day, why should you care about what those people think, you know? So yeah, if you're dealing with with all this and you're worried about that, then honestly, I would say forget it, because your life is too short to worry about what other people think and what other people say. And unless it's a true homie or true family member that really cares about you, then honestly you shouldn't care, because those will come and go. So that's the thing. Oh, you're good. You're good. That's the thing. So like, some people think that like worrying about what other people say and talk is like so important, but honestly, it literally doesn't matter, because everyone's going through their own world, everyone's going through their own problems, so like, why should you care, right? Now, I want to point this out, this is like a pretty big parenthesis. If people are giving you good advice, like solid advice about something, hey bro, like you should start working out, hey bro, you should act like this, then you should probably take that advice. But if people are just constantly bashing you for no reason, they have no good feedback, then bro, why do you care? Like, at the end of the day, none of that matters. And I will also point this out. Sometimes even family might be jealous of you. Sometimes family might be telling you things that that's true, that are out of jealousy, and that is something that is completely not good. You know what I mean? By the way, peep the fit. I got a suit on, I got a tie, some shorts, and some flip flops, because that's how I roll. It is so hot in here. It is literally like boiling, and I had a suit off, but it looks fresh, so I'm gonna keep it on. So back to Tralala, Tralala. Oh, you're good. I'm just filming school project. Back to Tralala, Tralala, and Italian brain rot. I made a point that people are saying those things. People are posting that stuff, and they literally don't care. They literally are posting the most stupid stuff on the internet and they have no fear. It goes back, going back to the Italian brainrot concept. You look at all these characters: Bombardino Crocodilo, Cappuccino Ballerina, Burr Burr Patapim, Tung 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 Sahur. All of these characters are living their life, you know. All of these characters are doing their thing. Bombardino Crocodilo is destroying villages. Tung 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 Sahur has like this giant bat on him, and he's just doing his thing, batting people. Do you think he cares? No, he doesn't care. Same with Tralala Tralala. This guy is running on water, running on waves. Do you think he cares? I don't think so. Oh, you're good. You're good. That's a school project. You know, like Tralala Tralala, he's just running on water. He's doing his thing. Do you think he cares? No, he doesn't care. And honestly, like that's who we should aspire to be like. That's who we should aspire to be, because if we're constantly worried about what other people think, what other people say, then obviously our life is going to be boring, our life is going to be miserable. So basically, that's like the first point. Second point is, I guess, worried about what people do to you, right? Oh, you're good. I'm just school project, humanities. The second point is like, if people are walking down the street and are telling you that, or like pointing fingers at you and saying, this goes back to the point of like trusting who to take your advice from, right? Obviously, trust close family, trust close friends, but maybe a stranger might tell you good advice too, you know? A stranger might come up to you and say, hey bro, like your shoes untied. Hey bro, like what you did to that girl, really bad. So you should really take that advice, and even though they're a stranger, they still have good advice. Sometimes strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. So that's that point. Social anxiety in itself it's a true concept. People deal with it all the time. People get scared, and I guess I'll give you guys some of my experience with that. When I was just starting to get older, like at 13, whatever, I was like completely scared. I would like go out and I would start shaking because I was so scared of what people would say. But then I realized, dude, like, who cares, bro? At the end of the day, people like will say stuff, people will tell you things just out of jealousy and out of like whatever. So when I was like 14, whatever, I started to like read about it, and I started noticing patterns in people that are just like super out there, super extroverted, and all these people literally just like don't care. If you look at some of the most like extroverted people, it's not that they don't get scared, it's not that they don't get nervous or whatever, it's just that they literally don't care. And I think that's another idea, that's a third concept, because confidence and not caring, in my opinion, are the same thing. Confidence is not something that you like learn. I don't think you could really become more confident. I think it's just a matter of like not caring, you know. And I think that, like, sorry, it's a school project. Confidence is like not really a real thing. It's just about not caring. You know, you go in public, you just don't care what people think. If you want to approach someone, who cares, bro? You might get rejected, you might get missiled down, but at the end of the day, it literally doesn't matter. And that's why, like, when I was like 14, 15, whatever, I just stopped caring what people think, what people thought. Maybe it's a bad thing, it probably is, but I literally don't care. And I noticed that my life is so much more interesting that way. If I was to constantly like slouch down, just walking around, constantly thinking about what people thought or said of me, dude, my life would be horrible. My life would be miserable. But at some point, I literally just stopped caring, and you're good. It's a school project. You're good. No, you're good. At some point, I literally just stopped caring, and now when I go out in public, like, I'm so much more happy. I'm so much more peaceful. Yeah, people might judge me. Yeah, people might say stuff, But at the end of the day, who cares? Life is just so short. So that's the second point. I know that was a big parentheses, but like who cares at the end of the day? Now, I want to give like an opportunity to like go open up the new parentheses, because we were talking about tralala for a bit. We were talking about confidence. We were talking about other stuff. But oh, you're good. It's a school project. We're talking about all the other stuff. And going back to the confidence point, let's look again at the characters. I know we use them a lot. We use them as an example like, for so much time. But really, the tralala, tung 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 sahur, berber patapim, all these characters, they're so confident. Why? They don't care about anything. You know, like I said, tung 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 has his bat. Tralala has his shoes. Oh, you're good. It's a school project for humanities. All these characters just literally don't care about anything, and that's like the most confident. Oh, you're good if you. I don't mind.
What's this about?
All these characters just don't care. You know, for example, Tralala has his shoes. Are they good? No, they're terrible. They have like Nike Air Jordans, whatever. I don't care what they could be. They look terrible. Does he care? No. That goes back to the same principle of not caring and just doing your own thing, you know? So that is that. There's also, I don't know if you guys watch this, but there's this one guy on the internet that he does this like 3 a.m. videos with like tralala, catching tung 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 sahur at 3 a.m. And does he care? No, people are judging him, of course, but he literally doesn't care at all. So at the end of the day, why should you care? You know, like why should we care about like what other people say? You know, so that's that main point. I guess we went over 2 points in our TED Talk, but the third point I would like to bring up is that sometimes, even though you're going through like hard times, sometimes like you might be going through stuff that brings you down. I think there's levels of social anxiety, you know? Like, for example, if you're speaking in a stadium, right? That's like pretty big. And of course, you're expected to be more nervous and stuff. But at the end of the day, like, who cares? For example, let's just say you're doing public speaking at Ford Stadium. Is that a thing? Ford Stadium, or that's probably a thing. Let's just say you're doing public speaking at Ford Stadium. Obviously, there's a level of social anxiety, of course. Now, if you're doing public speaking in front of a class, of course, there's social anxiety. But when you're one-on-one, why is there any level of social anxiety? Like when you're with your buddies, when you're with like some random person, why is there any levels of social anxiety? So I think there is a healthy level of social anxiety, so to say. So that's basically that. You know, especially like when you're good.
No, I'm good.
Understandable. You know, especially when you're with let's just say your close homies. If you're scared around your close homies, I'm sorry, but like, bro, you gotta check those relationships out, because your close homies are the people you should be most comfortable with. Those are the people that you should be close with, comfortable with, and those are your buddies for life, you know? So basically, going back to like the levels of social anxiety, I guess this is more technical, but you know, sometimes the number, I guess it goes from 1 to 5. I call it the level of oh my god, because you know, sometimes, like I mentioned, Ford Stadium, like, you know, is number 1. Oh my god, like I'm gonna get so much anxiety from this. Number 5 could be you're with your buddies. It's like, oh, let's chill, like no problem with that, you know. But as you go up the, like, oh my, no way, it's just getting really bad level, then I guess you should also be more kind to yourself, because at the end of the day, like, there is a level of, like, of social anxiety that I mentioned is healthy. I guess let me open up a new parenthesis to this, because this is something pretty interesting. You know, let's just say you're with a group of I don't know, businessmen, right? You're talking about some serious business deals, and of course, you're gonna have to have a healthy level of social anxiety. If you're just like joking around with them, if you're fooling around, whatever, you're probably not gonna get that business deal. You know, you're probably not gonna get that $1 million investment in your oil firm. So there's that level. To give you another example off the top of my head, let's just say a pilot is messing around with, like, I don't know, a passenger, like joking around, and he says something absolutely stupid, like, I'm gonna crash this plane or something like that, which probably bleep that out because I don't want to get on the FAA no-fly list, but he will probably not be looked at in a good light. So there is a level of social anxiety that is good. You want to be comfortable and you want to not hear what people think, but at the end of the day, you still want to have a little bit of a barrier so that you don't say something that's so stupid and like so crazy that will like ruin something for you or will get you in trouble. Because there could be legal trouble to this too. There could very, very, very well be legal trouble to this. You know, let's just say, like, just this is like a crazy scenario, right? Let's just say you're at a funeral, right? And the person that you're at a funeral, right? You're in the back, you're just chilling there, and you're like not really close with anyone. You're close with the person who's in the grave, but like not really close with anyone else. And oh, you're good. You're good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's a school project. And basically, you're like sitting in the back. You're watching the procession take place, and then you like look over to someone to your right who you're not even sure who it is. You're like, hey, like, isn't this such a terrible event? Like, poorly planned, poorly executed. You're saying that because you literally don't care what anyone thinks, and you're completely confident, you have no social anxiety, and that person is a relative of the person who just passed away. Like, that's absolutely disrespectful to them, and they're gonna start crying and bawling out or whatever. So there is, to a degree, a sense of social awareness. I guess it's sorry, I apologize. I actually apologize. I'd like to apologize for my previous mistake. It's not social anxiety, it's social awareness. I think there's a degree of social awareness you should have. And I guess this brings up a new concept, social anxiety versus social awareness. We went over social anxiety. I don't know if I ever defined it, but I guess let me define it now. Social anxiety is basically when you just are completely scared of what people think, and, oh, you're good, bro. You're scared of what people think, you're scared of what people say, how people will judge you. That's number one. Social awareness is when you wouldn't do things like in a particular setting, right? You probably, like I mentioned the pilot example, you probably wouldn't say something stupid to a passenger, you probably wouldn't say something in a business meeting, you probably wouldn't be filming a video in an elevator. That would be very stupid and it looks bad. But at the end of the day, you just have to stop caring, you know? So I guess that brings up another point. Like, this is a little bit off topic, but I want to give a point with war, actually, in World War II. World War II was a terrible event. A lot of people died and passed away, and a lot of people committed horrible atrocities. And the thing is, with that event, it's just so it's so chaotic, and like it really points out how people just stopped caring. Some of those atrocities were committed because people did they did the most heinous crimes known to man, right? And in their heart, they just stopped caring about anything. It's not that they stopped caring about how they were acting, but they just stopped caring about human life, and that's horrible. So that's a very, very, very bad thing. And also social anxiety. Excuse my voice crack. Could actually, or defeating social anxiety could save your life one day. But before I forget about that, I'll put that on the side. I'll come back to that. I also did some other videos in the past that prove how I try to overcome it. So if you want, just go check those videos out. Oh, you're good. You're good. But let's just say you're on the Titanic, right? And you're the captain of the Titanic. And while you're on the Titanic, you're having like really bad social anxiety, and you're like trying to help people get on a lifeboat, and like out of nowhere you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't talk to people, I'm so scared. Thank you. Like I'm so scared. What are you gonna do? Just sit there and like walk around, look at yourself? No, you're gonna overcome that. Sometimes there's a job you have to do. I forgot who said this, but sometimes there's a job you have to do, you know? That might be, you know, like, just imagine you're a paratrooper, basically. Imagine you're a paratrooper. If you treat your life like you're a paratrooper, you will get so many more things done. You know, paratroopers are like lined up with one another. There's a soldier here, soldier here, soldier here, soldier here, soldier here, and so on. And basically what happens is you're attached to like this backpack, and you step out the plane, you're off. And if you don't step out the plane, then those guys behind you, they're not jumping off the plane, and some village below you probably just got attacked. So, with that, let me explain that analogy, what I mean. Sometimes you just have to do your job, like I said. Sometimes you just have to jump out the plane and do your thing. For example, if there's a person that you want to approach, sometimes you just, you're good, just school project. Sometimes there's just a job you have to do. You know, if you're a lifeguard and you have to save someone's life, are you gonna have social anxiety and be like, oh dude, like my hair is so bad, oh my lord, like I will not talk to people? No, you're just gonna do your job and save that person's life. If you're on the Titanic, if you're on the Titanic, you're just gonna, what are you gonna just sit around and wait for someone's life to be saved? No, you're gonna have to hop on the deck and fill up those lifeboats yourself. And that's kind of the way like I'm treating my youth, or I am treating my youth. Basically, like sometimes there's just a job you have to do, you know? If you want to approach a person, that's just a job you have to do. You just have to force yourself, approach them, and just do your thing, you know? Am I recording? I am recording. Oh my gosh, I got scared. I wish I had water, bro. It's kind of, it's so hot here, bro. All right, we're back in distance. 3, 2, 1, action. So yeah, basically, to give another example, think of Mount Rushmore, right? Mount Rushmore, like with the mountain of presidents, right? Your life could be a Mount Rushmore, right? Your face could be shown to everyone, like those presidents' heads, right? Every one of those presidents, their head is shown to everyone. Everyone looks at them, people probably judge them. Do they care? No. I know it's a silly example, but use that as a way to guide your life. Imagine your head as a statue, your head is a solid object. Just think of that, and if you imagine your head as like a solid object, you kind of just like, you know, you don't care, people might throw stuff at you, people might say stuff towards you, but at the end of the day, you know, if paper hits rock, rock is going to win. Although, in rock, paper, scissors, I don't think that paper defeats rock somehow. That actually brings up a cool, interesting point about rock, paper, scissors, and like group games and stuff like that. You know, if you have social anxiety, how are you going to play volleyball? How are you going to play spikeball? How are you going to play basketball or soccer or foosball or even esports, right? How are you going to play that? It's pretty much impossible. Like, I don't know, you could probably get away with like, sitting back in a chair and being on a computer and stuff, but you still need to go out and talk to people and stuff like that. You're good. So, that's what I was saying with the rock, paper, scissors example. Like, how are you gonna play a game with someone if you can't even, like, approach them or look at them, So I guess that's like, we covered like 4 points from this TED Talk. I guess let's talk about like advice I would give you, right? Like based on different situations and different scenarios. If you're someone, you find yourself on your computer over weekends, not because you want to stay there, but because you literally are too scared to go out, right? You're too scared to make connections, you're too scared to go to this hangout, that hangout, then I would say to you that you should really, first of all, lock in. For real, bro, lock in. I wouldn't say jump into the deep end right away, because then you might end up traumatizing yourself. You jump in the lion's den, you might end up with a couple scars on your back. But I would say take a moment, take your headset off, lock in. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you put some music, chill music. I might link some in the description actually. And then maybe read some books. What helped me was reading some books or some articles about people's success stories, because there's a lot of people out there in your same shoes, a lot of people who want to go out, who want to experience things, but they're too scared. They're too fearful of people judging them, they're too fearful of what others will say. So what I would tell you is read those stories, read those success stories, and kind of envision it, envision your life how you would want it to be, you're good. Just a social project. Envision your life how you would want it to be. So like, for example, if I read a success story about someone who grew up like not talking to anyone at all, and then suddenly he goes out, he like hangs out with everyone. Obviously, I would want to know, and it's helpful because you could see people's success stories and learn from their mistakes, so you don't have to go through the same things. So that's that. And then as a second point to that, I guess like learning from people's mistakes. Those people probably went through the same thing that you're going through. Those people probably went through the exact same situations that you're going through. So why not learn from their mistakes? Why not learn from their hardships and stuff like that? So that's super, super important. So yeah, I would absolutely just lock in and read some stuff, learn all that knowledge, and then honestly, this is like crazy controversial point, but I would probably fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. People are not gonna like to hear that, I'm not gonna lie. But, hold on, I need a reset. Bro, it is so hot in here. Excuse me. Woo! Fake it till you make it, just fake it till you make it, because you're good. You're done. It's sort of school project. You're good. It's a school project. Yeah, you're good. It's for humanities. Just fake it till you make it, because at the end of the day, just imagine who you want to be like 10 years from now, and you have to fake it till you make it. If you want to be like this absolute Chad, you want to absolutely hang out with everyone and be that social butterfly, then why not fake it till you make it a little bit? It's controversial, I know, people might not like it, but there is a level of faking it. How do you think all these people that got to these places you want to be got there? They obviously faked it only a little bit. So that's a powerful testimony, you know, if you want to, let's just say, be the guy that goes on cruise ships and gets people together, does karaoke, for example, then you have to fake it, you know? It's gonna be tough. Thank you. You have to fake it a little. There's a level of faking it, you know? And this brings me to another example of torpedoes. Torpedoes, such a powerful example, you know? They see something, they see a target, boom, they just shoot that target, you know? They see a what's it called? An iceberg, or not, they don't shoot icebergs, they shoot submarines or battleships, right? The way torpedoes work is they get their target and they just like absolutely do their job. So why not be a torpedo in your life? You know, why not be an absolute torpedo? Be a missile, if anything. Be a nuke. You know, you get your target and absolutely just go for it. That goes back to the point of faking it so they make it. You know, you see your target, you see who you want to be in life, then just go full steam ahead. You know, and oh, you're good. School project. You know, for example, let's just say you're on a battleship, right? This is going back to the World War II example, right? You're on a battleship and you're like supposed to just go to X coordinates, right? Let's just say, you know, you need to get to here, right? This is, I guess, an anti-torpedo example, but those torpedoes might come and attack you like either way. So why not like just go full speed, you know? That's honestly a quote. Go full speed through the torpedoes. You know, that's an example for social. Thank you. For social anxiety. So that was a long parenthesis, but I guess that's faking it to be making it is such an important concept in life. You know, like you see people that will succeed in any situations. So why not have a level of just, you know, fake it till make it. So that's super important. And then I would also go to say that a lot of these people that are faking it still have social anxiety. You think like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos, whatever, all these rich people don't have a level of social anxiety? No, I'm sure they do. You know, there's actually one video of Elon at, I think, the inauguration, and he was like standing next to this girl, and this guy was still nervous to talk to her. There was a video with Justin Trudeau, scared to talk to Xi Jinping. So there's always a level of social anxiety. No matter how much money you have, no matter how much fame you have, wealth you have, you'll always have some level of social anxiety. You know, you could have all the money in the world. You can be as confident as you want, but that still means that you might have, you know, times where you do experience social anxiety. And I guess this is a new point. Confidence is like such an important tool, but it's important to not be like cocky too. You know, some people have confidence, but they're just absolutely cocky. And those people are like pretty hated in society, I'm not gonna lie. You know, because if you're confident, you know, people admire confidence, right? People admire confidence, but people don't admire cockiness. You know, if you're cocky, what do I mean by that? Like, you know, you're going to a park, right? You're playing spy ball with your buddies, and you're just like heads up, whatever. You don't care about anything. Like, you know, people are coming up to you, and like you're like, oh, whatever. This guy is bozo over here. No, like that's not who you should aspire to be. You should aspire to be confident. Aspire to be confident enough that people will attract to you, you know? And this is like another point about attraction, you know? If you're confident enough, people will want to be with you. People are more attracted to you, right? It's like a force field. It's like a bubble. I don't know if you guys ever saw Ice Age, but there's this part of Ice Age where there's like a force field, and it kind of like protects them from everything. Or in what's it called? The Lorax, right? The Lorax, there's like a bunch of force fields, or Despicable Me, there's also like this cool force field. So have force fields in your life, but instead of pushing people away, attract people, you know? If you're constantly pushing people away and you're constantly, like tossing people aside, dude, that's cockiness. Confidence is when you're like, hey, what's up guys, come on. And people just come towards you, and that's the best thing you could have in your life, you know? I just think about it like a school of fish, you know? In Finding Nemo, there's this, I don't know why I'm naming like all these animated movies, but, I just got cough. But in Finding Nemo, there's this example where, basically, oh, you're good. In Finding Nemo, there's this example where, like a school of fish come, and all those people are, fish are like brought in by a net, and they're just stuck there. So that's kind of like a good analogy for confidence too. Like if you're dealing with like social anxiety or whatever, be that person that reels in people and help people, bring people together, you know? I'm not saying you should be a group leader, you know? Group leader is not what you should want to be. It's not something that like you cast votes for or whatever. It is a good thing sometimes, you know? Sometimes it could definitely be a good thing, but 46 minutes. Okay. But basically, yeah, group leader stuff. Now, I guess I've been rambling a lot, but I do want to continue with my advice, you know. I gave you the advice if you want to be confident, if you want to be out there, but you're at a computer and you just don't know what to do. Start reading, start locking in, and, you know, go to social places. And it starts with baby steps, you know. It doesn't necessarily start with like crazy stuff. You don't necessarily have to give like you play at a Coldplay concert, right? But it starts with baby steps. It starts with, you know, going to the gym. It starts with going to places and saying what's up to people, you know. For example, let's just say you go to the gym and you're good, bro. You're good, bro. You're good. Let's just say you go to the gym, right? And at the gym, you talk to this one person, right? Like, hey, bro, can I use this 5-pound barbell? And then he's like, yeah, bro. And then you're like, dude, like, honestly, bro, like, I have no clue how to push this thing up. Like, instead of pushing it horizontally, you're pushing it vertically. And you're like, dude, like, can you please help me out, bro? Just overcome that hurdle. He'll help you out. And that's the first step. That's the first buddy you made, right?
Right, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. And that's the first step, you know? And then it comes with other things, you know? Talking to a cashier. There's this, let's just say, it's a pretty cashier, right? She's working at Starbucks. Why not just say, how's your day? How's your day doing, you know? So, it's basic words. It's 4 words. How was your day doing, you know? And, that's poor grammar. But anyways, that basic conversation, you know, and that could lead to like some other conversation. Good, how was yours? You say great, boom, something else. So that's that. Or let's just say, you know, you're checking out the Nintendo 2 from Target, right? And while checking it out, oh, you're good. It's a school project. While you're checking out the Nintendo 2, right? People are walking by and you need help because it's in those like locked cases. So you ask a worker for help, and that worker comes. He's like, hey, so like, what are you checking out? You say, oh, Nintendo 2. He opens it, and while he's opening it for you, oh, you're good. It's a school project. While he's opening it for you, he basically does his job, and you're like, have you ever used Nintendo? And this guy's like, yeah. I have, and that starts a conversation. So these conversations really do go places and really do help you with overcoming social anxiety, you know. And I guess let me give you another example. Let's just say you're waiting for your flight, right? You're at a flight and your flight is going to Pyongyang, North Korea, right? While you're waiting at the airport, while you're waiting for your gate to open, you know, your flight is delayed. Your flight Pyongyang is leaving in 10 hours, and you have a 5-day layover in Guatemala. While you're waiting for your flight, everyone's just sitting around, whatever, doing nothing. You could be the one that goes up. Oh, you're good. It's just a school project. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, but you're good. It doesn't matter if you guys are in the video. Just a school project. While you're waiting for your flight to Pyongyang, those flight attendants aren't really doing anything. So why not just start a conversation? Hey, do you have any recommendations for me while I visit North Korea? Do you have any recommendations for what to see? I don't know what they have there, Disney North Korea or McDonald's or something. But they'll give you recommendations, and once they give you those recommendations, you ask, okay, have you ever been there? Have you had any cool stories? And little conversations like these go such a long way. And these conversations are so powerful, and they're so, they're like building blocks, Think of it like dominoes, for example. I'm talking about the dominoes that flip over. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those videos where they'll topple one little miniature domino, and then that topples a bigger one, and then a bigger one, and then a bigger one. So these little ones topple the big ones, and then the big domino just falls flat. And if you try to topple that massive domino with a little one, obviously it wouldn't topple because physics-wise and geometrically, that's not possible. So it starts with those baby steps. If at 13 you put me in a prime situation with a bunch of people, a group hangout, that 13-year-old me would be so nervous. I would be so scared. I would be so timid. But if you put me in a smaller situation, like those small dominoes, then I would slowly be able to build up over time to those big situations. So that's why instead of starting off big, you just start off small, those little dominoes. And those little dominoes will help you topple those big ones. That's why if you're worried, if you're inside and you're constantly having social anxiety, you're too scared to go out, don't look at people going out on cruises, playing volleyball, whatever. Don't worry about all that stuff. Just worry about the little steps. Talking to that cashier, talking to that flight attendant, talking to the pilot, although you probably shouldn't be talking to him, talking to a customer or whatever. Those little conversations will go a long way. Oh, you're good. Yeah, it's just so pleasant. Those little conversations will go a long way. Once you complete that first level, then you go up to the second level. Then you go up to maybe approach a stranger, ask them something about their outfit. Hey bro, I noticed you have sick pants, or sick, I like your tie, Speaking of which, this tie is absolutely cooking me right now. But let's just say you have a small conversation with a stranger every day. That should be your goal. And once you have those conversations, those will help you build up even more opportunities. Let's just say you're feeling more confident and you see a group of people playing spike ball at the beach, or if you don't know what spike ball is, let's just say they're playing basketball, right? Or soccer, right? I'm not going to call it football because that's not the right term. Soccer is the only real term. Let's just say they're playing soccer, right? And you want to play too, but you're too scared. But because you have those little interactions, those little dominoes before, you feel a little bit more confident. You don't care as much. So, you know what? You will feel comfortable enough to ask them, hey guys, do you have room for one more? And they will, they'll say yeah, of course we do. Come join us, come play soccer with us, or basketball, or American football, as you say, or volleyball. So it starts with those little conversations, with those little steps, those baby steps, and it builds up, Let's just say you get to the point where you're comfortable talking to random strangers. I'm not saying approach every stranger you see on the street. I'm just saying little baby conversations. Then maybe you could get to the point where you compliment someone, someone has a cool outfit, someone has something else. You just compliment them, and that does take you a long way. So really what I was getting with all this is you see these people succeeding, you see these people doing well in life. Why not try those baby steps? You know, they all got there. They all went through hard things. They all, for them it was hard. For them it was hard to reach that big domino. But again, start with those little dominoes. So that's the prime example. And then, like I was mentioning before, you know, sometimes you just have to stop caring, but of course have a level of like confidence too. And if you have those two and two, I actually made a formula one of these days. I have it written on my ceiling. It's basically confidence plus or minus square root of not caring is equal to success. And basically what that means is that once you just stop caring and you're confident with a little bit of square rootiness, then you'll be, oh, you're good.
Sorry.
You're good, school project. Then you'll be good in life, you know? So the more like you just stop caring, the more you just stop worrying about the stuff, you'll be fine. And then so I gave you an example. If you want to go out, but you have no clue how. Let's just say you're already in the situation where, you know, you're going to hangouts, you're going to events, whatever, but you still feel like something's holding you back. If something's holding you back, honestly, bro, you just have to let go of any stress that you have. You just have to stop worrying and just full speed ahead. Think of yourself like a lion, you know? Think of yourself as a missile, as a torpedo. Sometimes, you know, you see a situation you want to put yourself in, you just have to go for it. And it takes that 3 seconds of courage. There's actually a movie about this. I think it's called like We Bought a Zoo. And the main character is talking about how he wants to approach a girl. And for him, it was tough because she was sitting down at like a diner, and the girl was she was sitting down at a diner, and the guy was walking by the window, and he told the story later on. He said that honestly, all it took was 3 seconds of courage. Just 3 seconds of courage can make the difference between getting that job, finding the right girl or the right guy, you know, making that friendship, the lifelong friendship, going on that adventure. Those 3 seconds of courage is sometimes all it takes. And are you really going to let 3 seconds determine your future? No, 3 seconds goes by like that, you know? 1, 2, 3. That's 3 seconds, you know? So, are you really going to let 3 seconds determine your fate? For me, I wouldn't. That's up to you to decide. But 3 seconds to me is, you know, those are 3 seconds of terror, you might think, 3 seconds of fear, but those 3 seconds can really change your life. You know, so if you want to approach the girl, if you want to approach the guy, if you want to, you know, talk to that person, just do it, man. Just do it, bro, because it could really change who you are. It could really change your entire future. And those 3 seconds are worth it. I've had so many 3 seconds of fear example in my life, and I could fully attest that they do work. Sometimes you might crash and burn. Sometimes you might fail. Sometimes things might not work out the way you expected it. But bro, who cares? You know, at the end of the day, life is so short that you really shouldn't care about what other people think, what other people say. Just live your life the way. See who you want to. Imagine yourself, right? Obviously, live for God. That's number one. Live for God and be living like Christ. That's the number one example. And when you have that in the back of your head, just don't fear anything, you know? Be a lion, be a warrior, and everything else is going to come off, you know, pretty, I'm not going to say easy because things do come hard. I've had 3 seconds of terror that I completely crashed and burned, you know? But if I were to stack those all up, those probably make up less than 1% of, you know, all the times I've approached someone that I thought could be like a cool friend, or if I approached someone, you know, to play a game or something like that. So I really would recommend not worrying about that. Now, I think we're getting, are we on time? Oh, my hair is chopped, bro. But who cares, bro? You know, at the end of the day, I don't care. People walked in here, people probably judge me, but I'm already an hour in, so might as well go an hour more. I'm not gonna go an hour more, but yeah, I guess we'll end it off here pretty soon. But let me just wrap things up. You know, if you've been dealing with social anxiety, again, stop caring what people think, and you can overcome it. Start with the little dominoes and work your way up. You know, if you've been dealing with like social anxiety or things that really hold you down as a person from your full potential, then stop caring what people think and just go full steam ahead. Remember the torpedoes example. Go full speed, and who cares what anyone else thinks or says. Remember the dominoes example. Start with the little dominoes. Start with those small interactions, those small baby steps, and they will take you to those big destinations, you know? So just remember that. And again, if you ever need help, just send me an email at the social anxiety master of conquering 101@gmail.com. And I think I'm gonna end off this video. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.